Hey everybody, my name's Crystal Stein and I am so excited that you are here today with us. We are kicking off a 31-day series this month, so all of October you can expect a new post from me about 31 days of encouraging conversations. And that is really my passion, to encourage, equip, and inspire you. So I'm going to do a mix of videos like this with some of my best friends from around the internet. I'm excited for you to meet them and be encouraged by them. And then you'll be able to find some devos and blog posts and just encouragement throughout the month. So hopefully you love it. I'm excited to do it and bring this to you. So today we are kicking things off with my very first video, and this is one I'm really excited about. Kat Lee and I are going to be talking about mentoring, and we want to encourage you through that. We know that looks a little bit different for everybody, so we're going to talk about what mentoring means to us. Mentoring relationships we've had, how we found mentors, what it means if you're asked to be a mentor, what that whole relationship looks like, and some tools and tips that we might be able to share with you to encourage you as you seek out those mentoring relationships. So I'm just really excited to be able to spend some time with you. On the other side of the screen, I'm imagining that you've grabbed a cup of coffee and it's still hot and you're going to kick back and relax and just join us in our conversation. So super informal. We're just going to have some fun, just some friends chatting, and hopefully you'll join us afterwards in the comments and share some thoughts with us. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I will turn it over now to Kat and have her introduce herself and tell us about where she blogs, all the projects she does, her family, anything she wants to share with us. So Kat, I'll let you go.
Hey everybody. Well, my name is Kat Lee. I was born on August 19th. I'm just kidding. No, well, I'm not kidding. I actually was born back then, but I'm not really going to go back quite that far to the beginning. I blog at inspiredtoaction.com. I know you're probably wanting to start off all serious, Crystal, and here I am just blowing it for you. No, but I'm super excited to be on this today and be with you and to share with you and chat with you today. So yeah, I blog at inspiredtoaction.com, and I also help lead hellomornings.org, which is an online community that helps moms to spend time with God and get up for their kids and not to their kids. And I also write at, or actually I podcast more, at howtheyblog.com. And I have been married for 16 years. I always forget exactly how many. I'm like, it's supposed to be the husband that never remembers. It's me. I get all the numbers mixed up. Anyway, I've been married a long time, and my husband and I have 3 kids. Oh, I need more coffee. We have 3 kids, and one's in 7th grade, one is in 5th grade, and one is in 2nd grade. So it is tons of fun over here, but obviously I've lost a few brain cells since school started. And yeah, but we are excited to be here today, excited to share with you guys, and I'm excited to talk to you.
I love that. I thought you were just trying to maybe tell us something with that slip with the 4 kids, but I guess not.
No, definitely not. That was. That's me. I decided to have tea this morning instead of coffee. So.
Okay, then. That explains a lot. I'm not sure I'd be functioning right now if I had tea instead of coffee this morning, so good for you. And I know I'm with you, Kat. I cannot remember. I'm awful with birthdays. I can't remember, I don't remember how old I am most of the time. If somebody asks me and it's random and I wasn't prepared for the question, I can't bring myself to remember. I have no idea how long we've been married, because how long we've been together and how long we've been married are totally different numbers, and it just makes my head hurt. So I know the day. I know what day we got married, so I know our anniversary. So at least we celebrate that, even if somebody's going to have to remind me when we hit a milestone or something, because I'll just be like, oh yeah, that is important. We should remember that one. So you're not alone. I think I blame my kiddo for stealing all my good brain cells, so whatever I have left is just, that's how God made me now. But
Well, I admire people who got married in the year 2000, because how easy is that?
I know. That would have been really easy. I mean, I also would have been a high school graduate, but other than that, it would have been really easy to remember.
Well, at least you can remember when you graduated.
What's that?
At least you can remember when you graduated.
This is true. Yeah, well, it was 2001, so I guess I wouldn't have been quite there. Anyway.
A little bit of math.
Bringing it back together. Okay, so With all of that craziness, Kat, how do you find time? Like, we need mentors. I mean, just I think I need somebody just to get me through the day some days. Like, I need somebody. So, tell me a little bit. What does mentoring mean to you? And then, how have you seen those relationships in your life?
Well, I think part of what mentoring means to me is, so part of my story is that I never really knew my mom, or I never knew her at all. She died when I was 9 months old. And so all of my life growing up, I was always looking for a female role model. And sometimes that would be a famous singer, sometimes that would be a kid a couple years older than me in school, but I was always looking for someone to model my life after because I lived with my dad and my brother, and so I was always looking for a female role model. And I think because of that, it's always given me the thought that mentoring is sort of a proactive thing and not something. I've never thought about mentoring being, oh, I just need to wait for somebody to come and pick me. And I think from when I talk to women about mentoring, a lot of times I think there's that mentality that mentoring is waiting for that amazing older woman who has everything together to come and say, hi, my dear, I would like to mentor you. And I think once we get over that hump, because while I've always felt kind of proactive about it and looked for people that I admired and wanted to emulate, um, I I always did that, but I always, as I got older, I started looking for somebody who had it all together. And so, I wanted to find somebody who was a great mom and who was really organized and who maybe did speaking things or liked to write or whatever. And I was trying to find this entire package. And I've realized lately that I can have mentors in all kinds of different areas. It's okay if this amazing, nurturing, wonderful mom is terrible at planning or terrible at whatever. I want to find those things that I admire about each of these different people and learn what I can from them at these things that they're good at. Because there's not another you and there's not another me in this world. So there's nobody that has all of our passions and all of our things all wrapped up into one just like us. And so I think we just end up getting frustrated looking for that person. And so I found mentors in books. I found mentors in sometimes friends that are older than me, sometimes friends that are younger than me, but just anywhere I can find someone admirable or something admirable about somebody, that's where I've wanted to say, okay, what is it about them? How are they doing that so well? How can I learn from them and how can I emulate that? And so I think it's less of a very specific, structured one-on-one thing, although if you have that, that's fantastic. But more so, it's maybe even an attitude of I am just bound and determined to be everything that God made for me, and I'm going to do everything I can to, fulfill the life that He's called me to, and I want to be excellent. And so I'm going to not wait around for somebody to come and take my hand. I'm going to look for somebody and just be like, hey, what can you teach me? What can I learn from you? And then you want to make that a mutually beneficial thing too. So not just what can I learn from you, but maybe what can I learn from you and how can I serve you as well. So I think just initially it just starts with looking for books, and even if you don't know people, that's a good place to start. But I feel like mentoring, I think a lot more women could be mentored if they saw it as a proactive thing instead of something that happened to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that there's this scary, very intimidating concept around mentoring that it is that, okay, so I need this woman who is at least, 30 years older than me and has had the exact same life experiences, and we're going to have to sit down every week and do Bible study and drink tea, and I have to tell her all these things about my life, and she's, a counselor and a friend and a mentor, and she's going to tell me, she'll be on call for me all the time. I wouldn't want to be that person. That sounds awful. I mean, you can't just be that for everybody. You can't be that for anybody, honestly, except maybe for your family. Like, you shouldn't be on call for anybody like that. And so that's not, to me, at all what mentoring is. And I loved how you said that, you've looked at these different areas of your life, your different passions, and tried to find somebody who can take you to that next level in each of those things, whether it's mothering or blogging or whatever your passions and interests are. Because you're right, there's no exact replica of us, and nobody, even if they share the same passions, has lived the same life experience that you have. So, for me, I've got, friends in my life who are in that same, motherhood stage as me, where we can, encourage each other. And maybe they're a few years ahead of me, but they still remember the toddler years, and so they can empathize and encourage me through that. And then I have, women who are blogging mentors for me, and Kat, you're one of my mentors because there's so much that you teach me about community building and podcasting and all of these things that I just love about the internet. I love brainstorming with you, and I love that you've been there and you've done these things, and so it's so fun for me to be able to trade ideas back and forth and learn from that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't still other women in my life who I'm looking up to and who are encouraging me and pouring into me. But at the same time, I'm also trying really hard to be intentional about looking to see who is it that's maybe that step behind me, right? Who's coming up alongside me, who might need to be encouraged and mentored, and who I can give to freely. Because I think that in my own experience with being a mom and being a blogger and the things that I do with community, I've had such amazing women come alongside me and teach me and be very free with what they've given me of their knowledge and their time and their experience. And I want to do that too. And I think mentoring needs to, you're going to get a lot out of a mentoring relationship if you have a mentor, but you're going to get even more if you are a mentor. So, just being aware and asking God to bring those people into your life too, who you can give back to and pour into, because that's going to be really where I see a lot of fruit in my life. Is anytime I can help somebody or pour into them a little bit, that is just a blessing for me, a lot more than any time I've gone and looked for something that's maybe serving myself.
And I wonder if that our independent culture makes that a harder thing to do, because we don't want somebody to feel like, oh, obviously you need my help. Bless your heart, I'll help you. We don't want to be condescending and assume that somebody wants to learn from us. But then a lot of people, or most people, including myself sometimes, aren't quite ready to say, oh, will you mentor me? Or, be very vulnerable and clear about, I want you to teach me. And so then there's this awkwardness, between, okay, what are we doing? Here's this structured thing. You know what I mean? Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, it's super awkward. And so I think for me, what I try to do at least, and I don't know how you approach it, but, I'll usually pay attention. I pay attention to the people God has brought into my life, and if I see them asking a lot of questions online, if they're asking about things that I love to do and know how to do, maybe it doesn't turn into a formal mentoring relationship, but if I can answer that question, I want to start to be able to build that relationship with somebody that is freely giving of what I know, that I can help them without expecting anything in return. I'm somebody they could trust, and then you build that relationship first, and then if there's another level to it, then where they say, listen, I would love to just be able to pick your brain all the time about this, or could you teach me about this? That conversation has already happened, so it's not like this cold call of like, I really think you need a mentor. Because I think if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, you don't know me.
Well, I think that's the great thing about the online space, is because it's almost like a meeting place of people who want to learn and people who want to share what they've learned. And so it sort of breaks that wall down, I think, online. I think most of that awkwardness that I was talking about happens more in person. Like if I've led a Bible study or something, and then you want to spend time with somebody who seems eager to learn, but then you're not really sure. So, but online, I love, people are Googling, they're asking a specific question just to find your site and to find out what you have to share. And it just kind of breaks down that barrier. And I know it's been a great way for me to learn from people and to be inspired by people, because I think sometimes a mentor doesn't even need to be somebody that you ever know or talk to. It's just somebody that inspires you to be more than you currently are, to improve yourself, to try harder, to work harder, or to give yourself more grace, or whatever it is, whatever area it is that you need to grow in. I think a mentor can be just a person that inspires you too.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I love that. So have you found mentors sort of in real life away from the online space, and how did you start that conversation, and what does that look like for you?
I have in different seasons. So growing up, there was a girl who was a couple grades older than me. Her name is Becca Nelson. And I met her when I was in the 5th grade, and she was in the 7th grade. and we are still friends to this day. And she just, it sounds funny, 5th and 7th grade, but she is just a very faithful woman who just loves the Lord. And so really all through high school, she would mentor me and encourage me to spend time with the Lord. She would counsel me on different topics, and then all through college, because we both went to college together. Then we lived in the same town. She's kind of like my big sister almost. And just, she, she's only 2 years older than me, so she didn't have just this huge wealth of knowledge more than I did, but she was just faithful and consistent. And I would say she's been one of the most influential people in my entire life. And so that just says something to, we don't need to be experts to mentor people. We just need to be maybe a couple of steps ahead. And just that faithfulness for always being there and always investing in me just probably made the biggest difference. Then there's been other people that I've actually pursued, people that I thought, okay, that is somebody that I really admire, and I'm just going to email them or call them or go up and ask them. And I've done that, and I've had people say, well, I can't right now in this season. I have too much on my plate. And I've had other people where we started that relationship, and then it kind of petered out, just because we weren't good at keeping it up or whatnot. But I think there's just a lot of value in starting again and not feeling like if somebody says no, that it's you've been rejected, or that if it doesn't quite work out, that it's anything terrible, but just to keep finding those people. And it's just been different, maybe a pastor's wife in our church, or an older mom whose kids that I've really seen and really admire. And then a couple times people have approached me and said, hey, I'd love to just invest in you. I feel like we click. And that's been fantastic too. But I would say most often it's just been people that I pursued or asked, that I just saw something in their life that I wanted to learn more about. So what, have you pursued people, or do you have that in real life, or how does that work for you?
I do have it in real life, and it's funny for me. It always starts more with, because I'm such an introvert, I'm not really just built to go up to somebody and be like, hi, I'm Crystal, we've never met, and I really admire you, and we should get together and you can teach me all the things. So for me, it's been sort of this gradual, God has brought women into my life through different things that we've been involved in. So maybe it's, a really good friend of mine, Becky, who is the wife of the drummer that is in the band that my husband's in. And so, we've met through different circumstances, and then as we got to know one another, she's really been somebody for me that is just constantly pointing me towards Christ, and, there to be a prayer warrior, and her family just loves our family very, very deeply, and, loves our kiddo and supports us in what we do, and, holds us accountable. And it's been such a great relationship for me, because her husband is also that for my husband. And so to have that relationship is really special for us, to almost have like a marriage mentor relationship with them. But other than that, for me, there have definitely been people online that I've sought out. And the hard thing about what I do with my job and what I do online is that a lot of people in real life just don't get it. It's really hard to explain blogging and the fact that I spend a lot of my time on Twitter and Facebook as a legitimate job to people. So in real life, it's kind of hard to find where I live, anybody else who is really going to be able to pour into me in that way. But it's definitely been great for me to be part of a mastermind group for those things. If you're not part of a mastermind group, I know Kat definitely recommends them. She's in one. Just a group, like a smaller group, so you take the internet from like wide and you take it deep, right? So you're going with like just like 12 or 15 women who really share your same passions and your same goals, and some are a little bit ahead of you and some are a little bit behind you, but you're all striving to, in our case with my group, glorify God and do what we can to make His kingdom shine online. And so cheering for each other, not competing with each other, and it's just a safe place where we can get to know one another and learn from each other. There's no dumb questions, right? It's that safe place where you can ask anything. And so I think that if you're looking for mentors online, creating a mastermind group and inviting women into that is really good, because then you can sort of build that mentoring relationship with a lot of different personality types and different people, and it's not necessarily one-on-one. It's like a small group mentoring, but to me, that's been really, really valuable.
Well, and that's so great, because everybody brings something different to the table. And so, with one-on-one, you kind of want that person to have everything that you need, and nobody's going to have that. And so by having a mastermind group, yeah, there are probably going to be people around your age, around your experience level, but everybody's good at something different. And so you can learn so much from them, and it's sort of like just the cumulative having a perfect mentor, because hopefully, especially if you're intentional about who you invite into that mastermind group, you can get people who are good at all the different areas that maybe you're wanting to grow in, and it's just going to be so helpful. And then also, I found with the mastermind group just to be brave about who you ask, and don't be afraid to ask somebody because you think they're too busy or because you think they're probably in a bunch of other things. I think the more we can not be afraid of no's, the better yeses we'll get. I think somebody told me about some guy who spent, I don't even remember why, but he spent a long period of time, I don't remember what it was, intentionally trying to get people to say no to him so that he would be braver. So he would go to Starbucks, and I think it's on YouTube or something, but he would go to Starbucks and just ask for a discount. Just randomly ask for a discount for no good reason. Or just different places he would try different things and ask for different things, fully expecting people to say no, like he's a helicopter, hey, can I have a ride? Or just whatever it was. And one, it broke down his fear a lot, but then two, he got some really surprising yeses and got to have some incredible experiences. And so I think there's a lot of value in not being afraid of people, whether it be peers or mentors or whoever, saying no.
I love that. I knew you'd have a good story for us today. You always have some kind of analogy, something to tie in. I love it.
Well, in college, they called me super analogy woman. So
yes,
that's the work I was in college. That's my college nickname, super analogy. I was pretty edgy, as you can tell.
I love it. Well, since I do analogies that never make sense, this is perfect. So I'll just let you do.
I can mentor you if you want me to.
Awesome. This is why we're a good team. You can mentor me in. Yes, mentor me in.
That's right.
Yes. So we're going to wrap up here a little bit, but I just wanted to ask you if there were any final tools or tips or scripture, just last final words of encouragement that you would want to share.
Proverbs. That is just full of all kinds of chunks of wisdom. There's a book in just about every verse, and so there's just so much goodness in there. I actually spent, I don't have it here, but one summer I just kind of wrote out the book of Proverbs in just a spiral binder, and you have to write slower than you can actually read, obviously. And so it just really allowed me to dwell on it a little bit more and to think about each verse a little bit more, and it was an incredibly rewarding experience. So if you're just wanting wisdom, Proverbs is a great place to start. Write it out, and then you have this fantastic handwritten notebook, the Book of Proverbs, which just feels very valuable. And then just books. Even if you don't know anybody that you admire or whatever, I would start out with books, start out with podcasts. There are so many things on the internet now, YouTube videos, TED Talks. There's just a wealth of information. And then obviously it all comes back to really just you spending time with God and figuring out the areas that He wants you to grow in. What are your strengths? How does He want you to impact the world? And then focusing on growing those areas. Because you don't have to be awesome at everything. And actually I would encourage you to not be awesome at everything. If you are fantastic at business, grow your business and hire somebody to clean your house. If you're fantastic at cleaning your house, clean houses and help other people to thrive in their businesses. Just whatever it is, find your strengths and then focus all your, mental energy on learning to be great at those things, and get books and podcasts and watch videos and find peers that can encourage you in those areas, and find a mentor. And I would say every time you hit a brick wall, just look for a way around it. So if somebody says no, ask somebody else. If you finish a book, read another book. If the book is not what you thought, find another one. But just keep on going and keep learning and keep growing. That's it.
That's good. That's good stuff right there. I love that so much. Finding your strengths and focusing your energy there. I know, Kat, you have done Strengths Finders, right?
Just recently, actually. I've always wanted to. Actually, I remember one time you posted on Facebook or Twitter, hey, Strengths Finders is free today or 99 cents. And then I saw it was yesterday, and I was like, oh. So, but I bit the bullet and I bought it. And so I took it. exactly remember what I am, because I need to go back and look through it. But
Yeah, I don't remember what mine are either. I have to go back and look. But that is definitely, I mean, it's not necessarily going to tell you your strengths as far as, what exactly you're good at right now. Like if God wants you to focus on blogging or you want to focus on something else, it's not that. But it will, if you love just learning more about yourself and what your strengths are and how you work and how you process things, it's definitely helpful just to get to know yourself better. That way, when you are looking for a mentor, you can better be able to sort of figure out who just feels like a good fit, right? Like with your personality, because not everybody's a right fit for everybody. So I love a personality test anyway, but that is some wise advice. So we will leave you with don't be awesome at everything. It's good advice. It really is. So.
for you.
That's our encouragement today. But really, I mean, I think it'll take a lot of the overwhelming feeling out of it, right? So if you feel like you need to be amazing at everything and have a mentor for every single area of your life, that's too much. So pray about where God wants you to focus. I love that. Pray about where He wants you to be in the kingdom right now and what He wants you to use your strengths for. So awesome chatting with you today, Kat. Thank you so much.
It was fun talking to you too, Crystal. Thanks so much for letting me be part of this. I'm excited about it.
It's going to be so good. I'm really excited for this month. So if you have any questions or if you want to chat with us about your mentoring relationship, are you looking for a mentor? Have you been asked to be a mentor? Are you in a mastermind group? Do you have questions about those? We'd love to invite you to chat with us in the comments of this post today. And then be sure, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll just get an update when these videos go live. Or if you just want to subscribe to my blog via email, they'll just get delivered into your inbox every day for the next month. So that'll be really exciting. So I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you a little bit better this month, and hopefully you'll join us and chat a little bit. So we will see you next time. Bye.